What's up, everybody? It's your man right here, the one, the only, that beautiful Rhode Island Red Rooster, one of the original road warlords, and as always, bringing you the knowledge and dropping the science in this industry of what we call trucking. Okay, doing this particular video because guys have came up and asked me questions about purchasing equipment with the surgery already performed. How do I feel about it? What you pay based upon their asking price? Those sort of things and stuff there. All right. How I feel about it is that, you have to first err on the side of caution. You have to definitely err on the side of caution because, again, it's not like this surgery is based upon something this modification, that's something that is improving the overall performance of the equipment. In a way it is, and in a way it's not. But not in a way like, say, an in-frame, in-frame, a rebuild, or they said that, well, we went on here and put another crate motor in or something like that, or they did some kind of turbo modification to the ECM to give it more power, more boost, more fuel miles, that sort of thing there. This surgery is based upon being economically sound, but not taking away from the overall performance of the equipment. Eliminating a problem that shouldn't have been there to start with, but it's there for purposes of, we're gonna say political purposes. And stuff. So again, I tell people to err on the side of caution because you have to, we can't ignore the fact that people can and will set you up. Is that, people do sabotage businesses all day long and stuff. And so, some of the red flags you got to be careful of is the fact that if they are publicly advertising that this surgery has been performed and stuff, and not in the terms of what we're saying and stuff, if they're just outright saying that this particular thing has been done, right, when we know it's not supposed to be. There are very few exceptions and stuff, but but for all intents and purposes, we already know what the equipment's going to be used for and stuff. So, again, you have to be very careful about said individuals and stuff, like whether it's an individual, whether it's a dealership, err on the side of caution. Do you know this person enough? If you don't know them, then no, it's no point in even trying to inquire any closer because, you don't want to get jammed up. You don't want to get jammed up on something that sounds too good to be true, So, again, we cannot ignore the fact that there are people that sabotage business, So I say, how well do you know this individual? How well do you know this business? Are they publicly advertising? If they publicly advertise, it's a red flag. That means, no, you don't need to do no business with them whatsoever because, again, you don't want to go through the whole ordeal and stuff and then have money on the table just to find out, you got some people right around the corner and stuff, ready to take you into custody. Because, possession is 9/10 of the law and stuff, So again, you have to definitely err on the side of caution. That's why people don't, or if, certain words and stuff that's being used, always look at the words, what I say, because words is strategy. But yeah, if they openly advertise it, no, you don't need to deal with them. How well do you know the individual? So, that's a few things there and stuff. As far as the asking price, understand because of the risk that you are taking, that it substantially drives down the price unless they got a complete modification to a point to where it's like, okay, well, this is a glider kit model. If it's a glider kit, then that's the exception, and that's the only exception. If it's a glider kit, other than that, if it had that surgery, then it drops the price of it significantly. So, no matter what's done to it, or what's on it, then the most I tell people to pay is about no more than 10,000. Anything over 10,000 stuff, absolutely not. Walk away from it, because when you get the surgery, you're getting it with the intent on this equipment to say, man, you know what? Hey, I'm keeping it. I'm gonna run this thing and stuff, and that I don't have no intention on trading it or selling it or whatever, Even if you're saying, hey man, I'm getting out of it, all right. And you just got the equipment and stuff, you just put it in your front yard or whatever, and that's that. But as far as like trying to sell it, you're not gonna sell it less than 10 grand, and it ain't no point in messing with it. I've seen some links and stuff, they want, some people want 30, 40,000, again, openly advertising that the thing has been done. It's not something that it's not a forum that you discuss publicly, not in the sense of stuff, or in the context that they're saying it in and stuff. We speak a little bit differently. That's why I always tell people, like, when they use certain words, right, I correct them. I correct them instantly and stuff. I say, I don't know what you're talking about. We don't use that type of word frame over here and stuff. So again, and again, that's because we always know people are watching. Information is power. So yes, no more than $10,000. And if you are interested, then this is somebody that you have to know. And it's not for somebody to come up and say, well, because I did this and stuff. A lot of people put too much emphasis and stuff into, they put way too much emphasis in, and after the surgery, they're saying, like, that truck then became a super truck for some reason. Like, oh wow, this thing's getting like 20 miles to the gallon, and it's got all this horsepower and all this stuff here. You just did a process of elimination. It was something that it used to perform. It was something that it was used to perform, or something useless that it doesn't perform anymore. That's it. The rest of it is up to you. If you don't know how to optimize shift, if you don't know how to optimize shift, if you do a lot of idling, if you are speeding and stuff a lot, then you can only expect your fuel mileage to stay in the same place where it is. You have to, it's other sciences and stuff, in order to get that fuel mileage up. But to make that type of modification and say that it's to say all and be all, no. Cause I done been in it enough and stuff to see that, well, I haven't seen any kind of real performance issues, as far as like the surgery and stuff being performed. I haven't, it still operates the way it operates efficiently, and that's because it's not throwing code anymore and stuff. But as far as the overall performance, it still operates the same. It still operates the same. So it's a lot of science and stuff that go into it, but just don't be sold by that. Like, wow, I got this done and it's a super truck now and stuff. No, it's still the same truck. It's just something that it used to perform, it doesn't perform anymore. That's it. But for political purposes, it's something that's needed because people are looking for it. And if you get caught, then the consequences are very costly. So you have to keep that in mind and say, man, hey, listen, I'm running a risk here. I'm running a real big risk here and stuff. It's just like how it is and stuff, with cars. I mean, when you got certain vehicles and stuff like that that had surgery and stuff done. I mean, but they get the surgery with the intention on keeping the vehicle. But if they ever sell it and they say, well, hey, I had this done, it drops the price significantly, because in some areas of the country, these are the things and stuff that they're looking for. If it's been removed, then it's going to be impossible to get it registered. In fact, people start asking questions. Okay, where did you get it from? Who done it? And so on and so forth. And the equipment is no different. So you don't want to be jammed up and stuff on that right there and stuff. But if you take the risk and understand it, you're not putting a lot of money into it and stuff that possess ownership of it. Same thing with the person that's selling it. They're saying, well, look, I'm selling it, but I had this done and I got to get rid of it on the low end. So that's that and stuff. So I say, I mean, you got to have you have a pretty good understanding, you know. And if you understand about equipment and stuff, you know, it's not, if it's not on a, I ain't gonna say on an expert level, but you know, on a very good knowledgeable level, then I would just say, man, you know, no, just walk away from it, you know. Just get you something that's all that has had the surgery and stuff, and then, you know, and then see if someone can direct you to a doctor. See if someone can direct you to a doctor and stuff, you know, to have the procedure performed. You know, because once it's done, then you got a complete understanding about where you stand. But again, you know, it's not something that's recommended like, okay, yeah, go get it. You know, it's sort of like, you know, when all your options and stuff have been, you know, when you explored all options and stuff, and you know, again, anything over 5 years, just like the science provides, is that, you know, after 5 years, you know, it's pretty much a done deal. You know, there are some very few exceptions. You know, I've seen people, but they particularly they're linked in with mega carriers who have the type of equipment, the time and resource necessary to keep, you know, the upkeep of that system and stuff going without you having to have no kind of surgery, you know. So if you're not there, then, you know, if you're not there, you don't have that at your disposal. Then, you know, again, it just, now you're kind of at, you know, you're kind of at the tipping point of saying, well, okay, well, in order for me to stay in it, what do I have to do? And, you know, you get it done, all right, you're still in the game, but you just understand, you know, hey, I'm keeping this thing for the long haul. Just like old Rooster Red Hen stuff, you know, it's for the long haul. You know, I understood this and stuff, but, you know, I had the option to walk away and get something else, but again, you know, I had too much money in it, and, you know, I had to pretty much seal the deal and stuff like that. And so, you know, with only 1 more year left on the equipment, you know, I can't walk away from the other 2 years from, you know, can't walk away from the other 2 years and stuff for nothing. So, you know, 12 months, 12 payments, 12 weeks. That's the sort of situation I'm in and stuff. But, you know, again, you know, if you are if you're looking to purchase equipment and you're looking at that as a possibility, then again, you know, just understand that the price has to be significantly low. All right, the person that you're purchasing the equipment from has to have, you know, they have to be a person of good standards, somebody that you know, somebody that you trust, you know, someone that's not speaking openly about said surgery and stuff that was done. You know, otherwise, then it's to just walk away. Because again, you know, we cannot ignore the fact that there are people out here that will sabotage your business, given the opportunity. You know, it's the type of world we live in and stuff. So, you know, protect yourself at all times. Anyhow, I'll go ahead and end on that note and stuff. Hit me up on my Instagram page, which is Rhode Island Red Rooster 22. Well, I'm always uploading information about Freightliner Cascadias, particularly, you know, 2013 model. Feel free to contact me. If you do contact me, let it be about the industry, and I'll help you out as much as possible. That information is also up here on my page. Like, subscribe, and till next time, this is your man right here, the one and only, that beautiful Rhode Island Red Rooster, telling you as always, continue your research, fact-minded studies, harness on your skills every day. Until next time we talk, next time we meet, be safe, be easy, and peace out.